What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tay Tay the Savior coming back with another video for today. I have a lot I want to get off my chest. So before we get in there, I want you to hit the like button on this video, leave a comment under below on what you think about all this, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to be notified, then hit the bell. And you can follow me on all my other socials such as Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and all my other social platforms, as well as TikTok. So let's get into what we had to discuss today. And first ones I want to get off are the WWE releases. So for the past couple of weeks, also, WWE has let go of talent either due to budget cuts or some people refusing to take the pay cuts. I'm going to go over what stood out to me the most. And one of those releases is Kairi Sane. Now, Kairi Sane, the ongoing storyline Asuka, which should have culminated at WrestleMania in my opinion, but they decided to give us Danhausen, Miz, John Cena, and all this other crap. Though we did get Io at Mania Sunday when she helped Rhea Ripley win the Women's Championship from Jade Cargill, who came back last night on SmackDown. If you watched the show, which I'm going to get more into further in this video. But yeah, Kairi, Io, and Asuka, they were part of a story which had months in the making, started all the way back in the fall of 2025 when Asuka wasn't feeling Io when she teamed up with Rhea Ripley, and then she turned on Io Sky. Asuka has been manipulating Kairi Sane every which way. They've been yelling her name, been treating her like shit, and we would think that the payoff would be Kairi Sane turning on Asuka and signing with Io. Nope, we don't got that no more because Triple H and Nick Khan decided to release her. And now that chance of it happening is gone. So I'll go over the match with Io and Asuka later to see who I think should win. But yeah, these are my thoughts about it. And Kairi Sane made a statement on X, which I'm presenting to you right now. She said, "What I can say is I know there's been a lot of speculation, but I truly love this work, my teammates and my fans. I've never walked away and I've given my all in everything I do. I hope you're all doing well." I love Kairi Sane. She was great. I wish her the best. I do think there's some chance that WWE knows the backlash and probably bring her back just to have Kairi Sane turn on Asuka. So one release done. The next one that stands out more are Aleister Black and Selena Vega. Aleister Black, Duke came back last year on the SmackDown to WrestleMania and started the feud with The Miz and the likes of Damon Priest, which went on forever. It was boring as fuck. Did nothing for either men. And then during that second run, they paired Aleister Black with Selena Vega, giving them basically what Karrion Kross and Scarlett were doing, which was playing the devil's advocate, him supposedly was supposed to be playing a role on Randy Orton. Aleister Black was supposed to be the one behind the phone call and the heel turn of Randy Orton, but we had to get Pat McAfee for what fucking reason, which was a waste of time. And I already know how I felt about that. You can watch my clips on YouTube and on TikTok. Yeah, yeah. I don't think WWE allowed Aleister Black and Selena Vega to tap into their full potential. The best Aleister Black that we've ever seen was in NXT when he was doing some great work in there. He got called up to the main roster and they had him in a boom closet. Him and Biggie, I remember they were supposed to feud. They got let go, and Black went to AEW. Selena stayed behind. They put the U.S. title on Vega. Vega did nothing with it. Again, the women's U.S. title picture is absolutely putrid. And Selena had a lot to say on Sandra Shat because he was the one who reported that her and Black were released, and she got big mad about it, and she went and made a big fucking tirade. I'm not a fan of Sandra Shat, but I understand from Sean's perspective that he has a job and he is a journalist. Do I agree with everything that he does? No, I don't. I don't agree with how he's gone after JD from NY and other users on X. I think that's whack. But yeah, what a fumble by WWE and TKO, man. These people should be embarrassed. And speaking of fumbles, Wyatt 6. Wyatt 6 had so much promise when they first came on the scene. When they mucked the backstage area and they had Chad Gable with blood, I was pretty much hyped into it. I thought the debut was excellent. It was supposed to be a tribute to Bray Wyatt, an extension of Bray Wyatt, so that's the one thing that they did right. The other things that they did right would give us some background stories of both Dallas and Eric Rowan. Um, I was also invested in the Wyatts and American Made feud, and that was pretty much it. They would feud with The Miz, Karrion Kross, and Final Testament, and then they would move him on to SmackDown and feud the entire SmackDown tag team division, including the MFTs, which went on for far too long, in my opinion. The fact that um, WWE didn't humanize these people enough to where we want to know who they were about the Joe Gacy and the Nikki Cross. We didn't get any explanation about that at all. And the fact that Nikki Cross hasn't been wrestling in a match for nearly 2 years is ridiculous. Because at a point when SmackDown could have used some fucking bodies in that women's division, and Nikki Cross could have been in the women's US title picture, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And they wouldn't even maximize to the full potential. Where do I think they'll be going? I could see Dexter Lumis going back to Sam Shaw in the Indies, or TNA could use Dexter Lumis. Joe Gacy could go back to the Indies. Nikki Cross, same thing. I don't know what to do with Bo on Who's the Son Bo, because Bo Dallas, this group, this was supposed to be like his moment, but just like they did with Bray Wyatt, they could not understand the Y6. So that to me is a major fumble, and the fact that they released the entire group is fucking sickening. And also read a report today that somebody from TKO is not a fan of dark characters, which has me worried for Tina Paxley when she gets called up to the main roster. She's the current NXT Women's North American Champion. So it's a damn shame that the Y6 got fumbled again. Where do they go from there? I don't know. They were given the tag team championships on SmackDown. They did nothing with it. Killed the division beyond repair. So that's all I have to say about that. And speaking of the tag team, the Motor City Machine Guns won tag team champions from all over the world. The TNA tag team titles, the Always, the New Japan titles. You would think that WWE were doing good over here, were doing good, but nope, they did not. They were given the tag team titles on week 2, and after that, they went completely downhill. The only good things about them were the memorable Chelsea matches from last year with the Street Profits, who are now on Monday Night Raw, DIY, who is split up, Tommaso Ciampa in AEW, Johnny Gargano's doing this depressed gimmick where he's lying flat on the counter surface, which is exactly how I feel watching Friday Night SmackDown. And it goes to show that WWE does not care about tag team wrestling. They don't. They never have and they never will. Um, Last year gave me some hope on SmackDown when the Machine Guns, DIY, Street Profits, Garza's, Faxium, the Wyatts were each battling over the titles, carrying the show on its back. And now look at what they've got. They got Damon Priest and R-Truth holding the SmackDown Tag Team titles. You got MFTs. You got Los Garzas, who luckily still employed. Faxim still there. And then on Raw, you got the Creepos in fucking mass, the Americanos, the Alpha Academy Usos, the War Raiders. NXT is no better. They got the Vanity Project, Dark State, who is having some tensions in the group, Hank and Tank. Um, that's all I can name on the top of my head. And that goes to show you that tag team wrestling is in the fucking mud, in the Fed. So, what I think the most in Machine Guns were going, I think they should go to AEW. If Tony Khan wants to like take the tag team division seriously, then you pick those dudes up and prove WWE and TKO that tag team wrestling does exist and tag team wrestling does matter. And I know a lot of y'all, including myself, love tag team wrestling, and it's a fucking shame that it's being spit in the face by these greedy motherfuckers like Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, and Nick Khan, Dwayne Johnson, Triple Fraud. So, speaking of spit in the face, the New Day. The New Day, in my opinion, will go down as one of the greatest tag teams in our generation. Right up there with the Hardys, up there with the Usos, and the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. Like, Xavier Woods was an FCW, been in the Fed for like over a decade. Kofi Kingston was in the Fed for nearly 2 decades. And they were a group from 2014 with Biggie, and they created one of the best tag teams in our generation. 13-time tag team champions. They got single success such as Kofi Mania when he won the WWE Championship. Xavier Woods was a King of the Ring winner back in 21, and Biggie Money in the Bank, IC title, WWE title reign. And unfortunately, Biggie got injured. He said that he will never wrestle again, and he's been doing some pre-show analyst work, which which is pretty good. But once Biggie's injury took place, then the New Day was never the same. And there was a little bit of hope at the end of 2024 when um, Kofi and Woods were beefing, and they had to like celebrate this 10-year anniversary. Biggie was in it, and it was incredible. Both Kofi and Xavier turned on Biggie. Ozzy Jones was supposed to be a part of that, but he got cut due to some shitty allegations going on, which is pretty unfortunate for Ozzy Jones. So I have heard that he is cleared and he is doing some work elsewhere. So good for Ozzy Jones. Hopefully, he is back on his feet. The heel turn started off great, and I remember they was getting like so much heat, surpassing Dominic Mysterio, and they went nowhere with it. They gave him the World Tag Team titles at WrestleMania, and it went absolutely fucking downhill. And you know the people to blame for it? Triple H. Triple H fumbled the heel turn, just like they fumbled John Cena's heel turn. So much so that they were in backstage segments, they were in commercials, they randomly paired them with Grayson Waller for some reason, which did absolutely nothing. I'm surprised that Grayson Waller is still on the WWE roster. And apparently, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods were asked by TKO to take 50% cuts, but they turned that down. Good for them. Get the fuck out of this miserable company. These niggas don't deserve you. I also heard that they wanted to bring Woods back in the Tyler Breeze deal. If I was Woods, I'd say no to that too. Give them the middle finger, tell them to go fuck themselves. And where I see Kofi and Woods, I wouldn't be surprised that they were in AEW because, like I said in the Most See Machine Guns, the one thing that AEW knows how to do is tag team wrestling. And I seen that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have been clamoring to face the New Day one day. I wouldn't be surprised if that took place in AEW. So, yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, props to the New Day. One of the greatest tag teams of our generation. I'll never forget them as long as I'm living on this planet. Yeah. And the other releases that I made on this list was Santos Escobar. Escobar came back. His contract ran out, and he was resigned. And him and Dr. Wagner were beefing over the AAA Latin American Championship. Escobar was hurt in the Rey de Reyes finals. I think Escobar could go to a CMLL. Apollo Crews, I'm surprised that he was able to last this long. Andre Chase, I love the Chase gimmick, but even WWE knew that it wasn't going to translate on the main roster. Zoe Stark, I mean, how disrespectful was it that the woman has been busting her ass to get back from an injury suffered all the way back in May, and I could remember the huge shriek that she had, and it was quite sad. Like, and then Alba Fire, who is now going to go back to Kaylee Ray, one of the longest reigning NXT UK champions of all time, and then they paired her up with Aladon. Couple couple tag title reigns here and there, and then once Aladon got released, they put her in with Chelsea Green in the Secret Harvest shit, and you knew that she wasn't going nowhere. So quite a shame there. Tyler May Steele released. She won LFG season 1, and she wasn't getting any reactions. Serena Linton, what's the point of LFG if you're going to be releasing talent? Tyson the Tyreek of High Rise got cut. Chris Island, Malik Blake, Joe London, Crucifino, Dante Shen, Carly Bright, MFT's Tonga Loa, and Jason Mateo. Um, did hear a report that Jason Mateo was going to be feuding with major guys. Instead, they tossed him in with Sol Sokoa and all this nonsense. Uh, he wrestled only 4 matches, and one of them was in his fucking street clothes, which should pretty much tell you that this nigga was going nowhere. So hopefully we can see Jeff Cobb thrive again in Tangaloa, Bachaloa, as Bobby Monsoon calls him, the legendary Botch King. Started with the bots and ended with the bots. You know what I'm saying? So hey, at least you got some meme value out of that. And then some PC talent named Francis Prince who got released. So that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, yeah. WWE TKO, they be doing some dumb shit. Releasing other people talent when the writing team on SmackDown should have been on the list of WWE releases. How fucking sad is that? So that's all I have to say about the releases. What do you think about those? Where do you think they should go? Comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notifications if you want to be notified. Now let's get on to Backlash. WWE lost to 4 to 5 matches to death, and unfortunately, Backlash ain't no different. We're gonna get so many fucking commercials between the matches. John Cena's coming to host this show, and it's tonight. And some history-making news segment, like it's going to like blow the roof off the building. Which, honestly, I don't think it's going to be anything out of the ordinary. I think that it's going to be this underwhelming announcement with Club WWE, which, yes, I am on the wait list for it. I don't know if it's going to cost anything, but I heard it's going to be some discounts, some early access for that stuff. So I'm pretty much optimistic in Club WWE things. So yeah, I think that's all the segment's going to be. We're gonna introduce you to Club WWE, and then it's going to be in this fight. So that's all I have to say about that. Now let's get to the matches. First match is Seth Rollins going one-on-one with Braun Breaker. Now, this match will be featured on the first hour on ESPN2. Now, I've been invested in this build so far. Braun Breaker getting the better Seth Rollins physically and verbally. Seth Rollins coming out of the loss at WrestleMania to Gunther because of Braun Breaker and that spear. So I think it's going to be a hell of a match. I'm going with Braun Breaker to pick up the win because Braun Breaker needs this win more than Seth Rollins. I mean, Seth Rollins at this stage of his game is bulletproof, so I think uh I think Braun Breaker, has been taking a few steps back ever since Obafemi has been coming up on the rise. And I love Braun Breaker, and I do think he's a future world champion. But Breaker needs this more, and I do think the feud is going to continue on because Joe Hendry is involved. The Street Profits are going after division for the World Tag Team titles. And basically, Seth Rollins is all alone. He ain't got no friends to help him out. So I'm picking one. I'm picking Braun Breaker for the win. Next up is Trick Williams putting the United States Championship on the line against Sami Zayn in a WrestleMania rematch. This match will also be podcasted on ESPN2, and I have something to say about this. What the fuck is this build? Are we supposed to be feuding between Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, or the Gingerbread Man? Which is it? Because over the past few weeks, WWE has overused this gingerbread man stick. They even made a fucking funeral last night on SmackDown, which took nearly 20 minutes at the end with all this AI slop. And Sami Zayn was right when he came out as like, SmackDown main events used to mean something. SmackDown used to mean something. Like, I remember watching Undertaker vs. Batista one-on-one in a steel cage match for the World Championship. That meant something. And I also remember the Bloodline when it was in its peak, carrying SmackDown on its back. And now we're resorting to this. Like, if they cannot get any lower than that, then I don't know how low they can go. Like, TKO already gave like Triple H a 3-year up deal. You think he deserves it after the crap that he's given us over the past 2 years? Get out of here. Felt bad for Trick Williams and Sami Zayn for having like carried this nonsense, and then Lil Yachty came out of the casket. Like, this had like 2019 WWE win all over it. Like, is Vince McMahon back? or is Bruce Pritchard running the show? And you wonder why SmackDown sucks. You wonder why y'all getting low numbers. So, anyways, Trick Williams retains the US title. That's my prediction. We need to move on. We need Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov back on our screens real badly because this gingerbread stuff ain't it, bruh. You know what I mean? This ain't it. Next up, we get Io Sky going one-on-one with Asuka. What I need to say on the Kairi Sane release. So I'm going with Io Sky to win this match. Um, the surprise would be Kairi Sane comes back, which would be a good thing. But I hope Io and Asuka can put on a very excellent match and tear the house down because I know what they're capable of. And the tag team match, Danhausen and a mystery partner versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. I've enjoyed Danhausen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoy some of his skits. I think it's funny. It's hilarious. I really hope that it's not Jelly Roll and it's CM Punk. That's all I have to say about that. I think Danhausen's team gets the win. I don't know why we could have had the Fatal Influence tag match on the show instead of this, but I'm not the one who's running the show. And then the main event, Roman Reigns puts the World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Jacob Fatu, and this is the match I'm looking forward to the most. I love both of these dudes. I love the back and forth that, that they've been giving us. Jacob Fatu and his tongue and death grip. Roman Reigns showing up full time has been great. The Usos being on neutral groundings. What I don't like is that it's reaching bloodline lore all over again. You got the MFTs involved. You got Jacob Fatu and the Usos on both brands. Back and forth. Like, why can't we just stick it to Raw instead? And have the rest of SmackDown, if you want to call it that, do their own thing. And I get that a lot of people are over this bloodline stuff. So here's how I think it's gonna go down. I think Roman and Jacob are going to have a phenomenal match. And I think the Usos, whether or not have a role on this, MFTs might get involved in this, and what it goes down to is Roman Reigns is going to retain, and I think they will run it back at either Saturday Night's Main Event or Clash in Italy. And then Jacob Fatu gets the win because I've seen the reports that Roman Reigns' June dates have been pulled for some reason. He's working some July dates. Would I love to see Jacob Fatu win the World Championship? Yes, I do think it's a risk, but I don't think WWE is willing to go that route. So I'm having Roman Reigns retain. And that's all I have to say about Backlash. Who you got for these matches and why? Who you think's to win? What do you think about the releases? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.